How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Blue Shifting and welcome back to Mamiya. So, bad news bears. First of all, happy Christmas if this is a holiday you celebrate, but even if you don't, there's a good chance you're going to either be seeing stuff about it or there's stuff going on around you about it, so I hope you have a good one whether you celebrate it or not. Yeah, but it's funny because this is coming out on that day, and I also recently started getting kind of sick. It's not too bad, but it does affect the throat a bit. I cough sometimes. And mostly I've just been having trouble just kind of, I'm a lot more tired and just, kind of in the fatiguey sense. So we're going to see. I'm going to record Mamiya. This one requires a lot of voice work. We'll see if I'm feeling up to doing much. Could be a shorter episode, so apologies for that, because especially on a Christmas, not everyone has, a bunch of stuff to do. Several of us will be very busy, me included, but if you're not close to family, or if you don't celebrate it, or if you just have other extenuating circumstances, you might not be. And so I'm hoping that if you're in that category, that spending some time with me today, sharing a good story, will make it worth your while and just kind of help your day pass by and, help make sure it has a positive experience. So let's have psychological damage and death, because that's apparently what's in this episode today, because this is how Suou died, and how that's going to affect the new timeline. It's going to be interesting. The music's banging though, so that's something. Yeah, other than that, this is a review of what happened, and Suou kind of like either being told or having reconstructing his memory from the split where the two timelines have been fused together, which is, again, such a bizarre concept. It's very cool. I'm excited to see how it plays out, but we'll see how it goes. And I don't know how much, I'm guessing we still have a good amount of time for Suou's story, but we'll have to see, because, frankly, I'm not sure how long these, partial stories are going to go, because I imagine once we finish them all, will be, kind of like the actual ending, or at least access to the actual ending. I'm sure I could make a bad choice and not get it, but we'll see how it all goes. It's very fascinating, though, isn't it? Yeah, I'm enjoying, seeing how they're building this, because it's so beyond, a reasonable storyline. Not reasonable in a bad way. I'm talking about most storylines have a progressive logic, but we've kind of tossed that out the window with this idea of merging timelines together and having them coexist, simultaneously, which is just kind of crazy, but I love it. And I'm really excited to see how it plays out. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? What? Is someone there? What? Who's there? The voice seemed to belong to a scared child. Though surprised, Kato tried to remain calm. Are you locked in here too? Run away with me. Yeah, run away with him. I won't run. Why? Why, Kikuchi Ryou? I gotta become Mamiya. What did people in this place think Mamiya was? What's your name? What's your name? Ryou. For a moment, there was a strange sound akin to scratching ice. Ryou. I'm Suou Kato. Just remember that. I'll do whatever I can to save you. Save at least you. You're keeping a child here as well, aren't you? Oh, you saw him? What's with him? I told him he must become Mamiya. What are you people doing here? Want to meet him? Huh? Yeah, what are they doing to him? That's what's scary. It's it feels like, because Ryou is addicted to violence, right? So is this a training ground where they're forcing him to fight other people? The door opened like it was nothing. Huh. The time that flowed between them was oddly dense. They stopped breathing, and it felt like each blink carried a due of several light years. It all felt so precious and difficult to part with. They almost waited for this to last forever. Kato? The youthful voice brought him back to his senses. Listen, Ryou, this is a friend who's gonna live with you from now on. The voice behind Kato made the child in front of him turn stiff as a statue. Mr. Arisugawa, what are you... What was the smell of iron coming from off the door? What were they making this child do here in the blood-soaked room? Oh, you've already met. A clear voice could be heard in the darkness, one that seemed to almost crawl on the ground. Samajima? The familiar face briefly filled him with relief, but then Kato became alert. Why are you here? Kato. Why is an officer involved in something like this? His body trembled with boiling anger. You think this is okay? Charging a chagrin welling up inside him made Kato cry, but he did his best to hold back the tears. This seemed to hit Samajima hard. Of course not. Then why are you... I don't believe this is an emotion you can understand. But I've always been scared of deviating from social norms. Huh? I didn't become an officer for the justice you believe in. I did it because I was a coward who could only ever choose this role. I felt comfortable with a position that involved hating evil and arresting the guilty. It put me at ease. But some things are worth throwing all that away for. Such as? Samajima placed a hand on the child's shoulder and smiled. I cannot give up on Mamiya. Even if I lose everything, I want to see that ominous rainbow once again. Upon waking, he felt the warmth of a child next to him. Kato, you were unconscious. Are you okay? Kikuchi Ryou held it up to him in a way that so as to not flare up the wounds he'd received from Arisugawa. Yeah, I am. He gently put his hand on the boy's, careful not to scare the child. It was small and cold. When he noticed the light shaking in Kato's hand, he gently held it back. Why are you so polite to me? Huh? You're an adult. That's kind of strange. Good point. To be honest, I'm not sure myself. Despite the fatigue, the nostalgia made him smile. It just feels right to talk to you that way. Within its aftertaste, he gathered his resolve. Yo, let's run away from here, okay? The bewilderment made a honey-colored eyes quiver. No, he slowly refused. I won't run. His strange fixation on that felt off to Kato. But why? There's no point. They'll catch us anyway. But there's no point! No matter how much I don't want it, the rabbit will still die. Because of me! It died by my hands! Sweat gathered on his back. The reek of blood he'd smelled upon this room was caused by animal blood. Layers upon layers of brainwashing and violence had stripped the boy of his will to run. I'm here too. You? You might be able to run away if we were together. He held the child's shoulders tight. Listen, Ryou, please don't give up. His amber eyes shifted from the color of fatigue to bewilderment. You shouldn't be in a place like this. Kato couldn't pour much strength into his arms, but he brought the boy close regardless. You shouldn't become a Mamiya like they want you to be. Oh, that's right, too, because we learned last time that Mamiya seemed to have started out as a childhood imaginary friend for Suou. So, to have that childhood friend he has these fond memories with, being associated with these people who are obsessed with it, who wrote a book about it, and then find out that they're trying to create a Mamiya by channeling a child into consistently, violently murdering animals to condition him into becoming a violent psychopath, in order to break him so that he can have visions of Mamiya. That's insane. To convey the feelings and warmth, he pulled the boy into a weak embrace. This might have been a selfish kind of justice, but he hoped that it would make his life at least a bit easier. What will you do if you get out of here? Well, there were many things he wanted to do. He wanted to eat a lot and sleep in a safe and clean bed. He wanted to turn Arisugawa and Samajima to the police and have them punished. He wanted to see his parents. However, he felt that none of these would help lift the boy's spirits. Oh yeah, I'll write letters. Letters? Yes, to you. Why? Because I don't want you to hate the world. The words came from the heart. I want you to know that this world is full of kindness, warmth, and all kinds of wonderful things. I travel across the world to discover all the fun things I can. I'll tell you about them in my letter, and ask you to tell me about yours. Such as? Oh, just on the other side of the planet, there's a rainbow-colored mountain. Really? It's in a country called Peru. Getting up the mountain is hard, but its view is very beautiful. I'll take a photo of it someday and send it to you. I want to see it. I knew you would. There's so many fun things everywhere. I wonder if I can write a good reply. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be good. Right. Let's share what's happening to us even if we're distant. We'll teach each other everything that's alright. And confirm that both of us are alive. But for that to happen, we need to get away from here. By the time the two became tired and fell asleep, the door opened and light flooded in. Get quiet, Ryou's sleeping. Whoa, playing Papa Bear, huh? I think I'm gonna cry. I won't let you have your way. Why do you think we put you in the same room even though you could escape? You must have realized it by now, right? This room is where animals are killed and prepared. It's a room where Ryou will become the perfect Mamiya. Kato turned pale. He understood what would happen here. So that's how he dies? That's how he dies. He wished he hadn't, but now he understood what Kikuchi Ryou would do to him. You! His body trembled with fear and anger, and his teeth continued to chatter. Have you even thought about the mental strain that would put on him? Arasagawa made a bitter scowl and stopped Kato from speaking. For a soon-to-be corpse, you sure are loud. Kato... Ryou... You should be honored, Kato. With your death, Kikuchi Ryou's Mamiya will be complete. His ears were buzzing. He heard the ragged breathing of a child. Now, do as I taught you. His breathing echoed through the darkness with warmth. No touch was needed to know that. It's really loud, by the way. Whatever, I've turned it down for you, because it's so loud. A sin from some other time was touching his immobilized body. The smell of the salty seawater that could so cold it hurt. How's that? This must be painful. You'd want to run away as soon as you can. But no matter how much it hurts, you mustn't run away. If you swing it, though, it'll make you feel a bit better. The invisible darkness changed its shape. His tiny body used its muscles, and Kikuchi Ryou stabbed Suou Kato in the stomach. Searing pain made him scream so loud it threatened to tear his vocal cords. Which I can't do tonight. The feeling of the stab was conveyed by the intrusive feeling of the blade in the flesh. It was hot, far too hot. The pain was so acute that Kato felt like he would be twisted in half. No, once more. Suddenly, Kikuchi Ryou's body twitched with intense rejection. No, I don't want to stop. I don't want to kill him, he'll die. But what if you still won't be able to run away? He was about to point the survival knife at himself. But then the adult arm took it from him. Let's stop there. Okay, Somejima? Very well. He seemed to not be fully there, but he agreed regardless. He's bleeding bad. He'll die eventually anyway. Then let's come back at dawn. Are you sure, Ed? Didn't you say you loved seeing the exact moment when people die? I did. I sure said some awful things back then. After throwing a glance at Suou Kato, writhing in agony, Samejima closed the door. Kato, I'm so sorry. Please don't die. Ryou, listen. The boy took his hand and nodded as firmly as he could. Let's run away together. Let's do it, Ryou. We can't, and anything good will come from it. Samejima, he purposely forgot to lock the door. I think this may be our final chance. It's a test. He's always had a weakness for me. But you're bleeding so much. Ryou. Kato touched the boy's cheek with a hand covered in blood from his stomach. Let's run. Please don't die. I won't. Thanks. Kato wanted nothing more than to let the boy escape. The day was very cold and had record-breaking snowfall. The two went out in light clothing, the intense fragments of frost covering them until they were cloaked in white. It was more than enough to slow down a wounded youth and a small child. You mustn't run away. Within the world of white and silver, he felt as if someone was reaching up from behind to grab his shoulder. He couldn't run away. He couldn't run away, and yet... It's snowing so hard. Are you cold? I'm fine. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Kato's blood kept spilling out, and every step made his consciousness fade. Don't worry. We'll run away and survive. I'm sure of it. Even so, he kept up a smile to reassure the boy in his continued direction where he expected to find people. I will protect you, no matter what. He tightly embraced the boy as his teeth were chattering. Let's keep going. Their silhouettes were followed by a crimson trail made by the wound. They crept into a small grove to stay warm. However, the sheer volume of his blood loss made him collapse on the spot. Kato! We gotta keep going! We need to get you to a hospital, Kato! Come on! I won't die. He extended his hand and embraced the boy. He wanted to protect him from the evil blizzard. Aww. That sucks. That sucks hard. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. He brought the boy's head closer to his chest and did his best to speak in warm tones. Through the back of the boy's head, he felt a trembling in his jaw. He might no longer have the strength to face the blizzard with a child in his arms. And his consciousness turned hazy. His hearing had gone weaker as well, and his own heartbeat made the plane flare up. Every breath seemed to shatter more and more of his hopes. I'm gonna die, he thought. There seemed to be no end to the snow. In fact, his back gradually turned wet from a layer of snow piling up on it. He felt as though cold water was gathering at his feet and gradually reaching his throat. The countdown to his death wasn't stopping. I'm gonna die. I'm cold. The voice from within his arms made him open his eyes wide. Who would protect them, he wondered. The feeling he'd once felt towards those who were weaker than him. It brought back a warmth deep within his heart. When we get home. His husky voice was anything but reassuring, but it was the best he could do. I'll write letters. Lots and lots of letters. It was to give him hope for life. Where could we go? Warm place to be, nice tropical island. With palm trees. It was so that his future would continue. There are many fun things still waiting for us. There's much the world wants to tell both you and me. Kato, you... I'll write letters. So you won't be lonely, even when you go back home. Hey. Are you okay? Huh. The ambulance is close. Put this on. Hang in there. Okay, so... Over here! There's an adult and a child! Okay, so... They got found. Sorry, that's that cough and that fluid feeling. Upon waking up in the hospital, Kikuchi Ryou was by himself. You're Kikuchi Ryou, right? We're the police. We're on your side. Do you understand? Yes. I'm sorry, the shock must have been really bad, but we'll like to know what happened that day. Kikuchi Ryou. I don't know. Oh, it happened because I ran away, he thought. I don't really know. It's because I ran away that he... I don't remember much what happened back then. I shouldn't have run. It was the morning after that night. Kikuchi and Suou were found on a snowy path. Two youths lit by the morning sun. The cold form of children with futures. Suou Kaido was embracing Kikuchi Ryou, protecting him from the snow. I guess this is how it works. How the works of Rubens look outside a painting. Suou Kaido's side profile was shining. No matter how beautifully you tried to describe it, a corpse was a corpse. Seeing them as divine was sacrilege towards the dead. But what was sublime here? Their rage, indignation, sadness, and helplessness, all their feelings died at once. It took witnessing a death, but they finally came into their senses. Goodbye. Yeah. That winter morning, the two swore never to meet again. And there he is. What would that even mean if that was like someone telling you how you die? And you like could tell maybe some part in your heart, like you knew it was real. And that's what happened in 2003. All the mistakes that led to you dying. At that moment, the entirety of the scenery fell far behind as silence enveloped the world. The very landscape seemed to tremble. The scene blended with itself. Only Tokyo Tower stayed unmoving. It always does. Something unidentifiable flowed from his stomach. He couldn't see his body well. Hey. The merry-go-round kept spinning and accelerating to the point where it felt like he could fall apart at any second. Did you enjoy your childhood fantasy playtime? So you loved a useless, shapeless, invisible illusion. Did that help you deal with the reality that doesn't go the way you want? How about you stop? I'm not trying to be mean here. Why do you think I showed you this? Think for a moment. This is a tragedy that won't happen if you simply give up and forget about Mamiya. You're not a child anymore, you know. The flow lines became lights, gave birth to chaos, and pulverized the minds of men. Grow up already. Next thing Kaido knew, he was left alone on the merry-go-round. Under the veil of night, the sparkles of the amusement park were vainly turning behind him. I died in 2003. Year of his death, 2003. A paradise lost and those who approach death. Hello, Mom? How are you? I just wanted to hear your voice. Are you enjoying the trip? Glad to hear that. No, I'm not crying. I'm fine. Anyway, good night. I love you. Phew. The moment the call ended, the voice, the emotions, the attachment to life, they all reached a breaking point. Again, like, could you imagine, like, knowing how your future was going to play out, especially when you're younger? Like, imagine being 16, 17, 18, and, like, finding out, oh, yeah, you're definitely dying in 3 or 4 years. Now, maybe that's not going to be the case because now he knows, but also it's one of those things where even if he knew, could he abandon Ryou knowing that he's going to be there? Can he, like, would that be worth the risk? Can you imagine facing that choice? Either dodging your fate and pursuing a life, but knowing that you're dooming a child whom you care about, whom you love, because you felt you became friends with him from a different time, which, again, it's getting confusing, but imagine you knew you would become best friends. You knew that they were going to become someone important to you. That you knew that they were worth saving. And that the only way you would know how to save them, how to find them, would be to go back and to go through that again. His mother's voice sounded the same as ever, and he was replaying it in his head over and over again. His parents had raised him for 15 years, hoping he would grow up healthy and have a bright future. And yet Suou Kaido would die in 4 years, leaving them behind. He was embraced by inescapable fear. I'm sorry for being such a bad son. I'm sorry, Mom, Dad. He didn't want to die. I don't want to die. Weeping his eyes out, he looked down at the beautiful book in his hand. It was the Mamiya that purportedly appeared in the world and was loved by everyone. And what about me? He wondered. He looked at the text, the author's name, Arisugawa Osamu, and the title, Mamiya. I was like a frog in a well. Kato began to feel like a green, insignificant creature that didn't know anything. Did you enjoy the childish fantasies playtime? He imagined that from Osamu's perspective, what Kato was doing must have looked endlessly immature. If only I could have stayed clueless. I would have been so happy to have just stayed ignorant, hiding my things and never comparing them to anyone. There were things within him he'd loved and was proud of, but they had all been pulled out and put up for comparison, became oxidized, and they all became stale. By the way, just for reference, in case you didn't pick up on that, oxidation is just a chemical breakdown process from being exposed to oxygen. The most common form that you're familiar with is rusting. So when he says that his ideas became shared, oxidized, he's saying that they became exposed and through like water and air contact have rusted and weakened and lost their savor. Riding the endless flowing tears, the yearnings that were his and his alone were slipping away. This damn book! He suddenly felt hatred for the book in his hand and raised it high and threw it to the floor. Ugh! Unable to do something so awful, he himself collapsed where he stood. I shouldn't have read this book. I'll still be happy if I didn't. Kato. He's never seen Mamiya before, has he? Mamiya, do you remember that snowy day when we went out and made a snowman? Yeah, I remember it. That made me really happy. Come on, Kato. Remember the good old days? The days back then were filled with light. The boy gathered up some snow and threw it upwards, making it shine in the clear daylight. These were nice, fun winter days. Look, it's you! Me? Look, it's like I'm looking into a mirror. Thanks. He showed me the face he'd made using buttons and smiled proudly. But I feel like you're missing something. Yeah, I have a mouth, but I don't think I can eat without hands. Then we'll use these branches, and like this. So Kato grasped the tip of a branch. Handshake. Oh, handshake. It's getting dark. Let's go home. The boy walked home as though pulled by someone's hand, but then that someone turned around as if remembering something. Kato, where's your green scarf? I gave it to you. Turning around, they saw the snowman, now enveloped by a large green scarf. You sure I can have it? Yeah, now you won't be cold. That makes me happy. Very warm. Thanks, Kato. Huh. Mamiya melted! The next day, they went to the same place. There, they found a smaller pile of snow along with the buttons and branches, and a green scarf all wet and dirty. That day, he went home early and washed the dirty scarf with his mother, crying all the while. Come on, Kato, don't cry. The scarf's all clean now. You can wear it again. I don't need it. You don't? No, it's not mine anymore. It's just something I gave to a friend. Is that why Mamiya was shapeless after that? There it is. It was kept hidden deep in the storage room. The green scarf that was a slight bit too big for any child. He touched the soft fabric, but then felt his hand become heavy with hopelessness. Do you remember? This is the scarf I gave to you. Yeah, I do. Of course I remember it. It's one of my personal treasures. I see. He's still wearing it. I like that's kind of a cool detail that he's wearing that scarf in all of his like pictures of the true Mamiya. Every memory I have with you is an inseparable treasure for me. Not just the scarf, though. The song and dance we did, the talks we had, and... yeah. With the scarf still in hand, Suou went to the garden. Kato? Mamiya, stand there and watch. Suou was holding the scarf in one hand and a kitchen lighter in the other. What are you doing? Those memories meant the world to me as well. He brought the fire close to the scarf and set it ablaze. No, wait, stop! Kato, stop! My precious scarf, it's on fire, it's gonna burn up! If you hate it so much, why not show yourself and stop me? Like the Mamiya from Mr. Arasugawa's book. Kato, please, don't say that. You can do it, right? The others can see you, right? I'm gonna die anyway. I'm gonna die, so... Why do I have to talk to you? Why is my own Mamiya appearing in front of everyone else? Why do I have to die in 2003? Weird, isn't it? I don't know which year it is anymore. Will I die in the future, or was I dead already? Regardless, it doesn't change a thing. I'm still gonna die due to the unfair hatred I'll get because of you. Kato, I'm so sorry. How about you show yourself instead of apologizing? If you could just be with me like you were in the past, that'd be enough. But instead, no. I'm always here. I'm right here. Mamiya Yumehisa bent forward and ran to the side of the window. Kato, please, put your hand there on the window. So Kato did as told, and Mamiya Yumehisa gently put his own hand over his. See? Here. I'm touching you right now. The two hands were overlaid as Suou breaths and his alone were turning the glass white. I'm here. I'm right here. I can't tell it all. Suou stomped out the flame that burned up scarf and went back inside. Kato, I'm sorry. Let me do it again. Turns out when people are pushed to the limit, they can only feel at ease with something that can be seen, something tangible. It's gotta be something with form, like the Mamiya in this book. So Kato collapsed with a sigh. His knees touched the ground as he put strength into his grip, almost as if he was about to tear up the carpet. I lost to Mr. Arasugawa. I lost because he loved Mamiya more than me, and he took Mamiya away because I lost. He felt as if his invisible figure had frozen in place, but only felt it. Forget it. It was all in his head. I don't care about Mamiya anymore. Never show yourself to me again. Alright. He felt like the air had become dried and cracked, which was followed by a stinging pain. The vibrations of his faint breathing weren't reflected. Huh. He's lost his best friend. What are you doing? My fists are trembling, yet this man before me simply flashed a pained smile. This is for the best. This isn't like you. You should be like the other Mamiyas. Cling to everything, cling on even if your fantasy is denied as meaningless. Mamiya Yumehisa gently shook his head. I was only there because Kato wanted me to be. If he doesn't, I'll just vanish. His words like foam, Mamiya Yumehisa disappeared from before me. How can you keep smiling after your very existence has been denied? Let's do this. He suddenly gone to look deeper in his room and began a major cleanup. What's he doing? The college notebook he'd used as a dream diary was thrown into a cardboard box with little care. Along with his heartache, the scene gave me a huge shock, as if the whole world was crumbling. He wanted to turn the notebooks into something that never happened. I won't write in this anymore. Stop, please. I gotta let go of these childish things. Those are your dreams, my hopes. Please don't deny them. Without any emotion, Suou Kato closed the cardboard box and put it away in an unused room. This was the home where Mamiya Yumehisa vanished while groaning in pain. And now, I was so hurt I couldn't even move. So we killed the good Mamiya. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. Everything about this world is so boring. Nothing moves my heart. Nothing about it is good. That's why I gotta make it a bit more fun. And that attitude is scary. If I steal this. The heck are you doing? Just put something in your bag, didn't you? Let me go! I still haven't noticed. Put it back and let's get out of here. Why are you always so... So? Shut up. Hey! No, I did the wrong voices. Shut up! He did, and then, hey. Alright, that was too low too. I can't do it. Hey, Suou! Suou! What do you want? This has nothing to do with you. I don't want to be friends with a shoplifter. Did something happen? We haven't seen each other since the visit to the amusement park. How have you been? Shut up, Suou. Oh yeah. Ryou, teach me how to fight. Were you told to shoplift by some bad guys? Not at all. I did it because I wanted to. Listen, you don't need to be able to fight. You have bigger strength than that. Huh? You've got the kindness that comes from your imagination, right? What kindness? What imagination? I don't need any of those. Why are you acting like you're older than me? You're not being straightforward. If you want to say something, how about you just do it? There's no way you can understand how I feel. I mean, you're the protagonist. What are you talking about? The voice of a large child echoed through the town. The red, empty sun was stretching out through the shadows. Listen, I have absolutely nothing. I'm gonna die without becoming anyone or having achieved anything. Be honest with me. Oh, wow. That's the saddest face I've ever seen. Fetch, V. You think I'm childish and embarrassing, don't you? Huh? You think I'm a pain, not special in any way, and that I'm running away from reality and clinging to a fantasy. Of course I don't think that. The distorted voice is clouded by a black wave of sadness. None of what you say is embarrassing. None of what you say is let me try that again. None of what you have is embarrassing. Even Kikuchi Ryou's honest words were met by a ridiculing gaze from Suou Kato. Oh, I see. That's because you've always had things I desperately wanted. This miserable feeling isn't something you can understand. Ryou wanted to stop the words coming out of the other's mouth, but his legs and mouth were frozen. I wanted to become someone's dream. If I had to die, I wanted to die while being a person someone else looks up to. Huh? Here's the thing. I'm gonna die in 2003. What? Ryou remembered the memory he'd seen on the Ferris wheel. I'm gonna become someone's target for some stupid reason, and I die because of it. Suou? You'd probably be able to brush the fate aside. You're like the protagonist of a manga, so you'll just beat it up with all with a punch. But I'm the one who killed you. It's because of me that you... No, you don't have to let it get to you. I have to live in reality, don't I? Just like you. And if we don't put our feet in this world for the sake of protecting someone weak, we'll have no future. Kikuchi Ryou looked up at Suou Kato and saw him crying in the evening sun. Why can't we both be important? Can't my two hands reach for both things? I don't care if it tears me apart. So please, forgive me for being so embarrassing and pathetic. Dang. I can kind of sympathize with that. When I always assumed I knew my path in life. I think I've talked about this a couple times because it's a major thing for me. I expected I was going to go back to school, get like a master's degree, and get involved in science. When I tried, it absolutely just fell apart. And it just doesn't seem like I had it in me anymore. And when my dreams died, they were kind of like my motivation. they were part of my identity, I guess is a better way to put it. And for a while, I kind of didn't know who I was supposed to be or what I was supposed to do. I felt like I had wasted time on a path that I couldn't walk, on a journey that I had no means to travel. It'd be like me deciding to hike to the United Kingdom, to London, England, per se, only to stop at the water's side and realize I didn't have a boat or know how to swim. That there's just this point where no matter how hard I worked and how far I traveled, I eventually would hit a wall, and that wall made it feel like the whole trip was a waste. It wasn't. I've come to terms with it, and I've learned that the journey and the lessons I learned and the things that I picked up have been helpful, and I've found a new path that I'm really happy with. But there's always that part of me that's kind of like Kato here, who's talking about, like, I just wanted to be... What did he say specifically? Why can't both be important? He wants to have dreams and he wants to live in reality. And he wants to be like, he feels like he's just a side character, that he's not important. And that's kind of how I feel a lot of times too. And that's like, I know that that's okay. Not all of us, like, almost nobody's gonna genuinely be the protagonist of like most people's like in the world. Most of us are just, you know, pieces of a whole, and it's a beautiful thing. But we all, I think, want to feel like we're special, that we make an impact and we leave something precious behind, that we make a difference. And realizing that that's not really going to be the case, maybe, or at least not in the way that we expect, is hard. Really hard. I felt as though this large, beautiful beast would vanish somewhere. I'm sorry for bothering you with all these strange things, even in the end. Ryou felt like he was the only one who could stop him. Thanks for giving me the unusual, Ryou. Have a good life. Suou. But alas, his extended arm failed to reach its destination. You must have been so disappointed in me. I don't want to meet anyone. If only 2003 never came. I'm back. Man, it's cold. I gotta turn on the heating. TV's talking about the end of the world again. Makes sense. I mean, it's December of 1999. The world ends. The world would end soon. I didn't know how much truth there was to it, but people on TV and the news made it out to be a big deal. Look at the magazine. Look at all the magazines. They got all the details about Nostradamus. They said it was hidden code in a prophecy. Check it out, Suou. I'm good. Really? Yeah, none of us actually felt like the world was gonna end. Okay, sit down, everyone. I'm gonna reveal the results of the quiz we had last time. He's earlier than usual. Gotta hurry up. The day just goes by without any change. And still, I don't know my purpose for being here. Why is everything so devoid of fun? I blink one moment and the world will be over the next. If it's gonna end, doesn't matter what I do, right? It would be simple and anticlimactic. The burst of a soap bubble. I gotta throw Mamiya away. 1999, Tokyo. The internet hadn't developed enough to let people exchange information in real time. It was a time when TV was still the dominant form of media. Before the switch to the new millennium, there were people that believed the world would end. There weren't many of them, but the numbers were hardly insignificant. It might have been odd considering the year 2000 was just an arbitrary number set by one of the world's religions. And, as though it were something unprecedented, many were expecting the world to end. The mood of madness and fatigue infected society was being fanned by mass media. And many people now thought that they were special simply because they lived in 1999. See ya, Suou. I don't know what happened to you, but cheer up, okay? Sure, thanks. The rain was beating down on the windows. Oh, I forgot to bring an umbrella. It would have been easy for Suou. It would have been easy if Suou was like so many others, and could also say that he was a child yearning for the unusual. Oh, how great it would have been if he wasn't the only one to die in 2003. Wasn't the one to die in 2003. Or if he wasn't my friend. Even so, he's definitely an invaluable friend of mine. And that's why I'll engage the gears of this adverse fate. Let's start again, Suou. Let's free you from your karma. A paradise lost in those who approach death. Reshuffle. End of the millennium. Interesting. So now we interfere somehow? How are we going to do this? Alright. Like I said, this is going to be a bit of a shorter episode. I think my throat's... I need to give it a break. Especially because I'm reading all the lines in this one. I don't feel horrifically sick. And as long as it doesn't get a lot worse, I should be fine. But I need to pace myself. And I hope you don't mind. So, thank you for letting me end here. Hope you have a good day. If you had a good Christmas or whatever you're doing today, if it's just a normal day for you, hope you had a good one, whatever it is. Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the year. I was really planning to do like a live stream thing, and we'll see if I still do that. I think I want to let this clear up first, so it might end up being between Christmas and New Year's rather than between now and Christmas. I was thinking of doing that for the latter, of trying to do it before around Christmas, but now that I'm feeling like this, let's give me some time to hopefully get better, and then we can take care of it after that. But still all well and good. I appreciate you being here. I'm looking forward to continuing to share wonderful stories with each and every one of you. And yeah, let's just enjoy the end of the year and ring in something new for 2025. God, that feels weird to say, doesn't it? But it is what it is. Thank you to the patrons and members. You're also wonderful. Thank you for your direct support and helping me and dealing with my, craziness and like things that have changed over time. I really appreciate you all, and I'm grateful and hope that I can make something special with you in the coming years. And for anyone who's just watching this video series, especially because this is a resurrected series from an old one I did like a while ago, I'm really grateful that you're coming back and watching it. It means the world to me. I hope you're enjoying yourself and enjoying it, and that we are, moving forward, and we'll find like the ending eventually and see how it all wraps up, because man, this story's got quite a lot going for it, and it's really delivered so much so well. I'm really excited to see how it like comes to an end. It'll be sad when it ends, obviously, but I'm excited to see how it happens and what happens. But we'll have to all get to that later. So thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. Until next video watching, we hope to see me next. I'll see you there.